go. Well, surprise, surprise, I am back. We have another sponsor spotlight. This is just so beautiful to see everyone come together on this day to really talk about them, their business, but why they have chosen to be a part and support the Christmas in July Stream-a-thon. So if you are new to me, if you don't know what we got going on, our fourth annual 24-hour live stream-a-thon is happening this weekend. We will begin at 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday and end at 10 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. And you will find us live on YouTube. So go to Prospera TV Network and click subscribe, hit the bell, all the things. And the event is already listed there. So that way you'll be notified. We will be sharing it over to Facebook, but we will be streaming live for the full 24 hours on YouTube. So as we get ready to get started, I want to bring up my next amazing friend who has been in my life for several years. And now I'm honored to be able to call him a show host on Prospera TV Network as well, but we'll let him talk about himself today. We've got Mr. Daryl Snow. How are you?
I'm doing great, Elena. How are you doing today? Surviving so far?
I'm surviving so far. This is like a pre-warm-up, which is like great because it reminds me of how to like think fast on the feet when you're live.
Yeah, practice.
Practice, yeah. So, Daryl, Praxis 33. Tell us, what is it and what do you do for people?
Praxis 33 was founded about 6 years ago when I decided to I realized that I've been in the coaching space for about 40 years, and I actually decided to turn it into an actual business. So I created Praxis 33. It's transformational life coaching, and now it's turned into more. It's also business consulting and public speaking, and now the TV show host with Warrior Spirit podcast. So, but I named it Praxis 33 because Praxis means the integration of thought and action, which is what I want my clients to do, integrate their thoughts with their actions. And then 33 is an angel number for prosperity and success. So with their thought and action, I want prosperity and success. So hence Praxis 33.
I love that. And I never really knew that about the number 33. But I always have loved threes. Can you love like 333?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's my favorite.
And more success.
Okay, that's my favorite. 333. So tell everyone where you're joining us from.
I'm currently in the center of the sun, Phoenix, Arizona. It was 117 last week, so we're in the middle of our summer. So yeah, I'm currently in Phoenix, but from the Midwest, and I've lived all over this beautiful country of ours. So this is where I currently call home.
Nice. And I love Phoenix. I love that area. So why did you choose to sponsor Christmas in July again this year?
Mainly because I believe in you and I believe in the cause and the circle of hope. Helping, one person every day is a pillar in my life and yours. And I've had the pleasure of interviewing you 3 times on my podcast. So I know the full backstory that you don't always share with people. I know the middle arc, which you sometimes share with people, and then I know where you are today, which you always share with people. But because of who you are and your heart and your faith-driven beliefs, I just believe that what you're doing is so needed in this darkened world. We need to be inspired and filled with hope and inspiration, and maybe even some education. And so I'm just always glad to be a part of whatever you're doing.
Love you, love you, love you, love you. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, we need to know how you actually serve your people, because this is your time to let Praxis 33 shine. If somebody is looking to work with you, like what is the best way for people to contact you? How do you serve them? Like, tell us a little bit more about that.
My business, as I said, was for transformational life coaching originally. My core belief is that everyone needs to live an authentic life. Not everyone knows how to do that, or they're afraid to do that. Some people are so immersed in their past that they forget to step into their future. And
Wow.
so I really try to bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to be, but doing it through the actual work, because a lot of people want a magic bullet or a pill or whatever, right? And I always, say, you want the cake, but God's going to give you the eggs, the the baking soda and the sugar, and then you have to some assembly required. And so I feel like I'm that piece that helps them assemble from where they are to really draw in from their purpose into their passion and live who they're truly meant to be. And
I love the way that you put that in a visual, because I'm such a visual, but like the ingredients, and help them put it together, because that is so important. And people do want to go from here to here, and sometimes we forget that God will like take us to the grocery store and just buy all the stuff, but it's like, but you gotta put it together now. Wow.
yeah, I speak in imagery because I feel that people can relate to all that. And so we can give you a golden shovel, but you'll never get a hole unless you put your foot to it. So one of the pillars of I have 3 pillars for my business: empower, because I want to empower you to live your authentic life; co-create, because you're co-creating the life you want, positive or negative, you're co-creating that with your thoughts and your actions. And then transforming you from where you are to where you want to go. So those are the 3 main pillars in my business. And I become a little, I asked how people can find me or whatever. I've become a little more discerning about the clients I take on these days, because I want the ones who really want to do the work and see the results. A friend of ours said, and I kind of believe this, our programs work, but we can't guarantee you're going to do the work. So, I'm a little more discerning on that, but I'm on all the social media platforms, and my links are out there for people to find. So, and then I'm also, my show, the Warrior Spirit. So when God told me to make this podcast, He told me to turn their mess into their message and make it a survival guide for others. And so for the past 3 years, I've been honored to have, 135 interviews so far, and people who share amazing stories and amazing places of where they were and where they are now and how they got there. So I'm always looking for, people who want to transform their lives and then also share their story. So either way, through Praxis or a Warrior Spirit.
And I love hearing you when you say 135.
So
I
far.
mean, when you really take that number in and you think about the people that you've connected with and the people that you've allowed to share their message, and how many people that has reached and touched. Like, think of that number. Like, how does that make you feel?
Well, for someone who never wanted to be a podcaster, it makes me feel pretty blessed that, God's using this show to do what he wanted it to do. I've never been a part of the show as far as my ego or it's never been about me. The only time the show's been about me is when on my birthday a couple years ago I shared my own story, my own alchemist journey. Other than that, it's always been about the guest and how we can serve and inspire others. And the beauty of what I love is when I hear guests, and I hear it over and over again, and I've never shared that part of my story with anybody. I've never said that before. You said it.
I did. I remember. I'm like, wow, I've never really come from that angle. People don't know that about me. I remember that.
Yeah, and to have the cognitive awareness, to have the questions come into my mind, to flow them to a place where they feel safe saying what they need to say, that's been beautiful. But even beyond that, what I have seen is that people who do come on and share a part of their life that they've never shared before, they start to blossom and they start to go tell the story more, and they start to step into that passion and purpose that Praxis 33 was designed for. So a warrior spirit and Praxis 33 are kind of going hand in hand to bring that to fruition for people. And I'm just honored to be the vessel that God chose to do that part of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know firsthand, we got Mary Sterling on here, says good afternoon. We have Terry Herman, and then also Allegra. I can see her here watching, and that's another one that you've had a really big impact in her life. And so when we all see each other having these transformations, like we're like living proof.
Yeah, and welcome to anyone who's watching this. And Allegra is dear to my heart because when I was coaching Allegra, Allegra was afraid to even say her name. And now she's out there with her own business. She's out there on multiple stages. She's out there sharing her story. But even beyond that part of Allegra's journey, for me, is the fact that she entrusted me to also coach and help her parents, not just one of them, but both of them. And to hear them say that I helped in any fashion, they're just a dear family to my life. I just feel so honored.
That's beautiful. That really is beautiful. So I want to kind of circle back to the ingredients to make the cake. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because how do you get someone to understand that transformation that they're seeking in their life is up to them, is going to take time? They're going to probably have a few versions not be exactly the way they wanted and have to go again. Like, how do you paint that to somebody who might be impatient and just like, I'm just tired of being in this space. I want it different now.
Well, life is a choice, right? And as Tony Robbins says, either the pain of staying where you are or the pains of change, whichever pains you less is where you're going to stay. And so for most people, they just feel like they don't have any other way. They're so immersed in this is what it is. And this is where my psychology degree helps, because we dive into how your brain works, and 95% of your day is run on autopilot. So we're taking Windows 10 and replacing it with Windows 11. We have to get the old out before we can get the new. And it takes hard work. People who have changed or gone through the process, you yourself, you don't pick yourself up from the depths of hell without a little pain along the way. And it's not easy, but a lot of coaches don't allow people to sit with sorrow or the sadness. Their method is, just get over it. Well, your method isn't get over it. Your method is deal with it. Like, until you've actually dealt with it, it's going to affect the rest of your life on that autopilot. And I've lived that for 58 of my 60 years. So I know what I'm talking about. I know where that comes from. And until you actually address it and deal with it, you cannot move forward. But it is work, and it's not instant. This is a long journey, not a short-term fix. If you want lasting results, and that's probably results. You can buy a book.
Yeah, that's the key, the lasting results, because it's probably like those habits that you can stick to it, and then before you know it, you're bringing the old the old patterns back. I mean, it's for it to last, for it to be total life transformation, it can't be a quick process.
Yeah, and when it comes to the emotional side, I tell a lot of my clients, it's okay to rest. You just can't camp. Like we can take the pause, we can address it, but we have to eventually find solutions forward. Yeah, otherwise you're just spinning your wheels to stay where you're at. And you wonder
Yes.
why tomorrow looks like yesterday.
I love that. Why tomorrow looks like yesterday. I like that one. We have to think of. I need that on my wall somewhere. Some kind of saying that has that in there, because that makes me laugh. I like that. But we just had a sponsor on. Her name was Teresa, who she lost her son to fentanyl poisoning 5 years ago, and she brought up that fact of, you've got to walk through it. Like, you've got to face it, and you've got to walk through it for that healing journey. And so that kind of reminds me of what you're saying here. Like, you can't bypass it. You can't rush it. Like, you really have to sit in it and then make that conscious choice to take that deep breath and just move on forward.
Yeah,
So,
there's an old country song that says, if you're going through hell, keep on going. Like, you want to get through it, you have to go through it.
yeah.
There's nothing that's going to eliminate it from your life other than your desire to go through it, address it, and meet it where it is. And the biggest part of that, a lot of these people that I've helped, Lena, they don't understand how to give grace to themselves. They know how to give forgiveness and grace to everybody around them, but you ask them to do it for themselves, and they struggle with that. And you have to have the grace and the forgiveness for yourself just as much as you do for those around you who've wronged you or been a part of it.
And that one, I think you brought that up on my interview, or it came up after for myself. That was one of the hardest things for me, was to forgive myself for a decision that I made that caused a ripple effect of like chaos. And but you do, in order to begin to change things forward, that grace over yourself it's got to start there.
Yeah, and if you're a person of faith, God already took your pain on the cross. Everything you've gone through, he's already taken from you. So you don't need to relive it. You can relinquish it. And if you're not a person of faith, certainly there's a higher source or a higher power out there that you do believe in, that you can give it over to. And if you only believe in yourself, well, then start forgiving yourself too. Right?
Right.
So we none of us get through this life alone, and we all have to, reach out and help each other. But at some point, you do have to help yourself, and you got to want to help yourself.
Yeah, and in order to want to help yourself, you have to value yourself, and that comes from the forgiveness and realizing that you are special, and that those mistakes or those choices or whatever you've been holding yourself in don't define you, and love yourself first and most.
It reminds me, next week I have an interview coming out with a kid named Dominic, and Dominic was in foster care, and when he and his siblings got to go back to their home, he chose to stay in foster care because he knew foster care was going to give him a better life than his home life was going to give. And I asked him, about his past, and he said, I truly believe in rock bottom, because it's not until I'm at rock bottom can I build the foundation of the empire I'm going to go build in the future. And, it really struck me, for a young kid in his 30s to really embrace the foundation of rock bottom, because that's where you are going to build from. And if you haven't allowed yourself to get to rock bottom, or see rock bottom, or acknowledge rock bottom, you can't build up. You can't build up from the middle.
Wow. I love that. You can't build up from the middle. I remember when I was first starting in this journey, this whole coaching journey. And for me, I just always heard that healing was the foundation that dreams were built upon. Because I always believed in building your dream, but it's like that level of healing, for every level you get, you uncover another level of healing in some capacity that has to take place in order for you to continue building and building. And if that foundation has weak holes in it, no matter what you've built can come tumbling down at any time. So amazing for him to make that conscious choice, that decision to take control of his future by doing something that probably most wouldn't do.
Well, yeah. And at the time he was only, I think he said he was 12.
Wow.
So for a
Wow.
12-year-old to decide that this life in foster care is better than that life at home, because I
Yeah.
don't want to live that kind of life that I'm being modeled at home.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes a huge amount of self-awareness for a 12-year-old.
And so we can't wait to hear that episode coming out. That was and you said that's going to be airing on A Warrior Spirit next week?
Yeah, next Wednesday. It drops on Prospera Network at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, awesome. I'm looking forward to that one. So tell us what's ahead for you. What's coming? What's Daryl doing next?
Daryl is going to try to get on more public stages, because I feel that's where God's leading me now, is to enhance. I've been on virtual stages. I'm going to be speaking at your event on Saturday. I've been in other virtual events, but now to get on more public, broader platforms, to spread the message more widely and impact more people. Again, and my future isn't about me. My future is about how I can help through the kingdom that God is blessing me with. And the more people I can touch and serve, the better, I'm serving him. So.
And so with your speaking platforms, because people will be tuning in and watching this from all over, with you being out in the Arizona area, are you looking for events more in that area, or are you willing to travel like across the US?
No, my bags are already packed. I'm ready to go. I got to go bag.
You're like, I need someplace cooler.
Yeah, anywhere that it's not 117, I'm gone. Yeah, I'm willing to go anywhere that I'm invited to speak and inspire. So,
Nice.
Doesn't have to just be here.
Yep, very nice, and that's good to know, because some people like to stay nearby, and others are like, no, let the world take me where it's meant to take me. And if those opportunities present themselves and it aligns, then go for it. So yeah, for anybody tuning in who's having a live event, be sure to get a hold of Daryl and let his message spread across your stage. I saw. Okay, so Allegra says, "Good to know, Coach Daryl."
Well,
Yeah.
I'm willing to serve, and your TV opportunity is a sign of it. You said, and I'm going to quote you almost verbatim, probably the Reader Digest version, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where it's going, but would you like to come along? Sure, because it's you, right? But it was more than you. It's more because it's God driven, and it felt like the next evolution to what I was already doing, to bring it to even greater heights, to again serve others.
Yes.
I think we're all here to serve others if you want to live a joyful life.
Yep. And I feel that 100%. There's just a difference between those that we know we've been chosen and we've been selected, and it's kind of a divine assignment that we're all just moving forward on this journey, but it is for others. And that's the one thing that we know. And so that's why doing the Stream-a-thon once a year, it's almost like my way of a give back, my way of saying, like, it's a self-sacrifice for 24 hours of lack of sleep. Okay. People always ask, like, how do you do that? It goes fast for me, because I know that it's something small that I can do that actually has become something big, because it makes us all feel better. So with that, you will be on this Saturday as a guest. We will be streaming on Prospera TV Network on YouTube. So we need people to go there. We need them to subscribe. They will find us there. You will be having your time to shine, your 30 minutes as a sponsor. But before we wrap up here today, I've been doing I think it's fun. It's fun because it's been interesting to see the questions that come in. But I'm giving all of the sponsors an opportunity to actually ask me something. What do you want to know? Whether it's personal, professional, business, like whatever. But what is something that maybe you have always wanted to ask me? And now we do communicate quite often. So maybe you're like, I ask you anything I want anytime. But now's your time.
Well, it's interesting because I do know a little bit of your backstory having interviewed you, and I do know some of those things. So, but for others who don't know you, they know you're driven by your trauma that you've shared. But what part of your middle life, because I know how you grew up, and I know, your parental background, what part of your middle life still drives you today to be the high level go-getter that you are?
Hmm. Yeah, we might need a whole nother half hour here.
Well, that's why I'm an interviewer.
So I immediately go back to my senior year of high school when I ran away from home. And I was pom pom captain, student council. I was like all these things in high school. I had a very, very nice life going on. And I chose to run away to live with a boyfriend that was very poor. He was in another state. His family was poor. And when I fell asleep, if it rained outside, it was raining on my face. We had pots and pans collecting all the water droplets from the ceiling and stuff. And I chose that. I wanted to be there. And it took me a long time to understand that it really wasn't just the boyfriend, but it was the whole family dynamic. I wanted the family. When I was home, I was by myself and I needed the whole family. So, being that they were poor, okay, I'll never forget that that was kind of just the way of living, but I still refused that. Like I was in that environment, but I chose to go get I applied at a job, which in the little town was like the best job you could have, right? Like if you worked there, like, oh my gosh, you were making all kinds of money. But I remember believing in myself and saying, like, no, I'm going to go apply for this job. And I got it. And I think that when I look back, there was always that piece of me that knew you can do whatever you put your mind to. But on a personal level, I just wanted to be loved. And so I self sacrificed things and I made things harder on myself because I didn't love myself, but yet I believed in myself. So that's a really weird place to be because I believed in my potential, but I really didn't love who I was. And so I always keep those pieces in mind that at any time I could be in that environment where if it's raining outside, it's raining on my head. So that keeps me humble. That keeps me very humble, but it also lets me know that I craved family and I want to create family for people and while they're building their dream. And that's what drives me today is I feel like whatever we're building something beautiful, but we can also build relationships in that community that knows we got your back and you will never be left hanging out to dry. And I think that experience in my life, I was 17, 18 years old, keeps pushing me today. Yeah. Wow. Good question.
Yeah, well, great answer. And it's very common. People know they have potential, but they don't love themselves enough to go get the potential.
Mm-hmm.
I think truly, and I don't want to bleed into your other time, but I think more people are afraid of success than they are failure. I say it all the time. We know how to fail. We've done it often enough and we know how to pick ourselves up. We know it often enough. But when we succeed, who do we have to become to honor that success? Who does that require us to be? And I think that scares more people than failing.
And I would agree with you 100% because I had to put myself in check on that many times as well, being that I think I shared that with you that I saw my parents be so successful and the money just, it's kind of comical, but you can say I was like playing with money. I was playing with gold blocks. I was wearing my fur coat in kindergarten. Like money was just all over the place. And then it was gone. And so money scared me because I realized how much control and power it had in your everyday living. And so I kept it away. You know, I didn't want it to break my family apart. So I chose to live poor. I chose to run away from home. So yeah, being scared of success, that's a real thing. But you know what? When you begin to love yourself enough, you realize that God doesn't want you struggling like that because you can't help people like that. So go claim it. Go
Exactly.
show your crowd. So
For sure.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. That was an awesome question, by the way. Got me all in my feels. That's what we're here for. But we will see you on Saturday. And I just want to say thank you again for being a sponsor for our Christmas in July Stream-a-thon, because it's just so appreciated, and you're making my dream possible. So thank you.
Well, it's an honor to be amongst people like you, and I'm just so blessed to know you.
Thank you. All right, we'll see you Saturday.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All righty, guys. So here we go. So we are going to continue moving on. I'm going to take a little break here while we kind of keep you up to speed on what's happening with the Stream-a-thon, where you can find us. So take a look right here. All right, so I'm cracking up because I can see my next guest backstage. He's jamming to the tunes. And the funny thing is in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, when you're trying to go to sleep tonight, good luck, because that little song will be playing in your head. So we're going to move right along. This guy doesn't even need an introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. He is my own coach. He is a dear friend. He has been in my life for like many, many years. And not only has he changed my life, but he's introduced me to a lot of people who have impacted my life. So the major family man right here. Let's bring Mr. Michael Faber up to the sponsor spotlight. Hey, my friend. How are you?
You called me out for dancing.
I could see it.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. It's kicky. I was like, you got me. I was like, ah.
Well, and the funny thing is, you're doing that, I literally had that thought in my mind, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be playing in my head all night.
Oh, more than all night. I'll keep that jingle in my head for a month probably. Just do it.
Well, at least you won't forget me. At least you won't forget the Stream-a-thon. So
Impossible.
how are you? How are you?
I'm amazing. If I was any better, I'd be you.
Woo! It's been a while. People need to know,
too
like, it's been a while. We haven't even like made time to connect, but here we are. So
You're a mover and shaker. I can't keep up.
So this part of it is really all about you. All right. You are choosing to step forward and support what we're doing here again in this 4th annual Stream-a-thon. But tell me why.
Oh, I mean, well, one, I was here from the jump. You know what I mean? Like, I can't miss it until you kick me out. But good Lord takes me, I'll be here. Yeah. So I remember talking to you about it. I remember your idea. I remember why you were doing it. The why behind it and the intention behind something means something to me. So I know what it means to you and why you do it. And that's why it's easy to support and make sure that we take the time to do so. And others should too.
And I love that. And I just want to add to, for people that have what they feel are like those crazy ideas in their head, you know, at that time, I think I was fairly new. Was I fairly new to the Unleash You family? I think it was still kind of new. And I remember as my coach, I was just like, Jerry Lewis telethon popped in my head, and I'm going to do the 24-hour live. And yeah, I was waiting for the feedback, like what? And you're like, let's go.
Let's do it. It's different. Not a lot of people do it. It's needed. It's a way to stand out. It's a way to show that you care and you're for the people. So I think it's one of those things that you are one of the perfect people to do it because it's true to you and your heart. So that's key.
I love that. So tell us about Michael Faber and why you do what you do.
I'm here so I can hang out with you. I do what I do so I can hang out with you. I want to be in your presence. So this is the way to do it. Michael Faber's a classic story. Like you can mess up a million times, but still find a way to get it right. If I can do it, anyone can. And that's one of the messages I think is really important, especially at this time. Listen, I love to win. I hate losing more, right? But I respect losing because I know it's part of winning, right? And right now, there's a lot of hard times, a lot of hardships, a lot of things going on. People are battling a lot of storms. And I think hope is needed more than ever, and we need to talk about it more than ever. And so doing something like this, I think it's perfect timing.
And I love that. And the hashtag hope never sleeps is where we're going this 24.
I like it.
Yeah, hope never sleeps. And I do agree with you, especially because you work in the space of entrepreneurship and small business. And I like to call it people building dreams. And it's hard. It's hard. And we need somebody real that can respect the failures as much as the successes. So how do you keep people lifted? Like I know with the amount of people that are in your space, I know that you have to deal with a lot of people that come to you with those burdens and that it's hard. How do you keep people lifted?
Well, I think a couple of ways that we can do that and that I really subscribe to. One, understanding that it's not all the Instagram lifestyle, right? Like I think so much of social media now, a lot of people in the space try to make it like they have it all together. And I say, anytime you see someone that wants you to believe they have it all together, they don't. Just know that, right? Because life will life for all of us. Now, something can be going really well, but another area of life, something's struggling or battling, right? It's I love the phase. It's like we're either going into a storm, we're in a storm, or we're coming out of one. Yep. And I believe that to be true just at the core of humanity. So I think one, letting them know it's okay that it's not going good, right? Like that happens. This is hard, right? There's a reason why only 1% do it. And of that 1%, like 4% make it. This is hard. It's a lot. And we all know that in the journey of growth, there's a period I call a lonely. And because while we're moving towards where we want to go, there's a gap between getting on that path and getting off the old path. And that spot is lonely, right? Because the people that you used to associate with or hang out with or used to consider close with, they're going to think you changed, right? And you're not yet at the one where you know the people close to the people that are doing different things to have them in your circle. And that period sucks, right? And it's scary. And a lot of times when we hit that period, we go backwards. We're like, whoa, nope, right? And so I think communicating that and letting people know the hard times, letting people know the good times, right? Stop looking for fair, look for worth it, right? Like that's worth it. Do the things that's worth it. I think letting people know and just having a place where people can just be real in this battle, I think that's something that matters to me, and I try to create a space for people to be able to do that.
And you do, and that I think is probably a piece that when you're in that building of the business type thing that you don't understand the importance of that, because that's exactly where I was when I said yes to you. Right. And the thing is it wasn't even that I was new to you. We had been connected for a while, but I was in that space. I had come so far, but I didn't have anybody in that next space for me to go. And that's when I was praying for team and community, and here you come. So that was at Movement Maker several years ago. So how do you gather those people? How do you let them know that this is, if you're in this space, we're the community for you?
Right now, we have a little pushback.
Oh, Allegra real quick says, you are two amazing souls who changed my life. Always grateful. Yes, you both gave me hope in business and in life. Oh, we love you, girl.
Oh, yeah, she's all right. She's great. I'm going to push back a little bit. We all know I'm not for everyone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
That's
We
a
all
good
know
thing,
that.
yes.
Yeah, we all know I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. I'm not supposed to be. I'm supposed to be for our people. Right. And I think one of the ways is being vocal about what do you stand for? What are you about? Right. Like what matters to you? What ground are you willing to stand on? I'm not willing to fight for everything. I'm willing to fight for very few things. Right. But those things I will stand for, period. So I think knowing what you are, what you're about, what you stand for, what you believe in, and being able to say that over and over again and louder so people can hear it, resonate, and come towards you. And be like, I agree with you. I'm down with that too, right? And you start building these people that are like, it's deeper than like an online community or a membership. That's why I hate using the mastermind. I always say the family, right? And it's because like we create a family, but for any family to thrive, we have to be in particular about who's inside of it and understanding how to help serve one another and each other and live by whatever code it is that you stand to live by, right? And so I think having your message and making it loud. Right. I think a lot of people are quiet about their message. I mean, you got to be loud about it and consistent about it. Everyone has life going on. We're not paying attention to your message. You got to get louder and louder, right, for us to look. And then part two is like, when in that space, how do you show love? How do you show appreciation? How do you put your people on? How do you put the spotlight on them and not just on you? Right. You do a great job of making sure your people get in the spotlight. I think that's one of the things I love about you the most, because few do that in the space. Make it not all about them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The them show. So like, sometimes when people tell me about someone, I'm like, oh, the them show. Yeah, we can go watch them. Right. And it's fine. There's people that have that, and that's okay. That's their thing. This is not my thing. Yeah. And it's not our space. Our space is meant for others. And you do that really well. It's one of the things I love about you, of the many. And one of the things I really respect and inspire that you do. You inspire me to be better at that because you're so good at it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, I do appreciate that. And I totally get it. It is beautiful to be a support and watch other people do their thing and watch the growth and watch the light bulbs go on and all the joy that can come out of somebody encouraging somebody to do something that maybe they wouldn't have done on their own. Now, one of the things that you brought up about being loud about your message and your mission is, it took me a while to understand, and it's been through working with you over these past years. Do you remember a couple years ago, you were having a virtual event, and I will bring it up every time because I wanted to be the Latina Joyce Meyer.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I did. That was my role model, the Latina Joyce Meyer. And you're like, how about you just be the best Elena Rodriguez? And that was like, I never would have thought of that, right? Like, right. But I look today in the work I'm doing, and that is what I'm doing. And so when you say being loud about your message, we all have our different ways of being loud. Mine is a quiet loud, right? Like it's firm and it's in what it's solid. It's confident in what I'm doing, but my style is quiet. Doing things like this. So how do you help people find their loud?
Right. It's hilarious that you told me going 24 hours straight online is quiet. Right. That was pretty funny. I'm a quiet person. They call me Mikey Whispers, right? Like, and it's weird. The more excited I get, the quieter I get. I like start whispering about things. But so it's it is what is your style? What is your loud? And loud doesn't mean screaming. Right. Are you consistent? Do you consistently show up? That's loud. Are you consistently saying what's in your heart, what you stand for, what your people stand for, what you're about, the result you want to get people and where you want to take them to, right? Like where you're leading. Those things are allowed. There has to be some way that you speak to your people, and you have to do it consistently, right? And routinely over and over again, right? We can get real nerdy here. I don't know how nerdy you want to get, but it's 44 touch points, right? For someone to feel comfortable to come towards you, 44 touch points. And I want you to think about this, Elena. If you called me today and you're like, Michael, I'm doing this thing and I want you to be part of it, I would be like, sure, what's up? Tell me what I got to do, right? And vice versa for the most part. Just you haven't been one of our commercials yet, but you will be. So when that happens, right, that means that was one touch point to get that to come closer to you. Now to get the average of 44, what is that, like 88, right, for the next? So when we talk about average, it's a lot. So when you're like, no, but I do say it every once in a while, I'm like, that's not enough. I'm like, you want to know it's not enough? Go on your social media handle and ask people, what do I do? And most of them won't even know.
Yeah.
And then you know you're not loud enough.
I love that. And so the other part of it too, what I've noticed in the space too, is sometimes people won't even pay attention to you until they see somebody else paying attention to you. Right. And so for me, that kind of makes me chuckle too, because it's like, hey, I've always been here, but maybe I haven't been cool enough, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I think paying attention to who is actually there from the beginning and will be that support along the way. And I'm just honored to say that you've always been that in my world. So thank you for that.
For you, anything.
Thank you. Oh, what do we got? Laura on here says, thanks, Elena and Michael. I totally respect who you are. For me, it's surround myself with people who have solid moral values and good intentions. Blessings. I shine my light bright. That's beautiful. So what's next for you, Michael?
We're in the middle of this challenge that we did. That is really kicking my butt. So that's good. Next month we have another one that's about like social success, how to have success through social media. And then, the summer, that's kind of what we do. And then fall hits, we have our mastermind cruise, and then we have the virtual experience, the hybrid event with the big screen and all the fun stuff, where the speakers are in person. And that pretty much wraps out 2025.
Yeah. Can you believe it? We're like having Christmas.
We're halfway there, right?
We're halfway there. So for anybody that is tuning in, because we're going to be all over, and this is going to be chopped up, and even on our Roku that we're doing Prosperity TV Network now and all over the place. So if people are new to Unleash You Now, like, let's say they're like, what is this? And this community sounds great, or these things that you're having coming up sound great. Like, what's the first step for somebody to take to kind of get to know you a little bit better?
Well, I would say friend me or follow me on Facebook. You're going to see quickly if you vibe or not with me, because I'm vocal and I kind of let everyone know where I stand on certain things that are worth standing for me. And you can see, I always think the phrase like-minded is overrated. Mm-hmm. I think like-minded, I think there's like levels of consciousness to everything. And like-minded is almost an ego protected state, right? I like growth-minded, mm-hmm. right? Because that doesn't mean you're going to be like me or believe like me or think like me, but you have a heart that cares, that's going to serve, that will pour back. And that doesn't mean you agree with me, but that means that you love me enough to check me on in a way that's respectful, right? I think that's huge in the space. So I think follow me on Facebook, and you'll see or friend me, and you'll see if I'm your cup of tea or not. I'm not going to say coffee because everybody will say hobby. So cup of tea.
I love that. Not just like a cup of tea. So I'm doing something fun with this sponsor spotlight segment too. And I'm calling it fun because it's been interesting for me to see what some of these questions are. But I'm actually giving the sponsors, I'm giving you guys, ask me a question. What is one thing that you want to ask me? And it can be anything.
Wow.
Yeah, because this is a great way for people. I've had a lot of questions like in messages of people like, why the 24-hour Stream-a-thon, and what's this and what's that? And I thought, like, I wonder how many people actually have questions for me. And now I'm just interested to see.
So we all know this ride we're on, it ends, right? And as we are, we won't be. So when that happens, 107 years from now, all right, for you, You're much more the epitome of health than me. I don't have that kind of time. But at the end, what do you hope they say about you? That they know about you? That they experienced with you?
That's a good one. For me, I hope that when my time's up and somebody has a memory, or what the first thing that comes to mind when they think of me is that they go for their dream, that they screw what everybody else says, screw what society says, screw what, all of this like list of fear and what ifs and all this stuff, and just build the freaking dream. Just take the one step, as crazy as it might look, sound, all of it. Because I just believe in dreams, man. I do. So,
I love it.
Are you living yours?
Somebody's a nightmare dream and something, right?
Nightmare dream.
Matters the day you ask me and the time.
I want people to immediately get a smile on their face when they think of me. And I already said, if you're coming to my funeral, I don't care who you are, you got to put on red lipstick.
Nice.
You'll be like,
I'm glad you have better health than me.
But no, honestly, I feel like in the space that we're in, you just have to believe in doing the things that don't make sense.
Facts.
Yeah. They just don't make sense. So that's what I would love. I love that question. That's what I would love to leave people with is just go for it, man. That's my big thing. Let's do it and see what happens.
All right. Like John said, let's find out.
Yep. Let's do it. All right. So this Saturday, you're going to be joining us live for the Stream-a-thon. And we're actually this year going to be streaming to YouTube. So people need to go to Prospera TV Network and subscribe and find the event, because as you know, Facebook cuts you off after 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Michael was on year 1. I didn't know that. So he was my guest during the time.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle of talking and I'm like, what happened? You were gone. Like, we got cut off. So lesson learned. So we're going to be streaming to YouTube, but we will be sharing to Facebook, but you will actually have to watch it over there. So we'll make sure to let everybody know that. And what's one last thing that you want to leave with your peeps about being a sponsor for this year's event?
I think exactly what you said. Have the heart to go for it. And listen, don't be too proud to sit in rooms like this and just listen and hear the stories. I don't care how far you get. The stories will inspire you. And the greatest human act is to inspire. And when you're inspired, your creative juices go, and then your creativity and your hope and your belief, and all of a sudden you'll be doing things that you'll be thankful for. So take the chance, take the risk, show up. It'll get better for sure.
I love it. Thank you, fam. It's great to have you here, and we will see you on Saturday. Love you too.
No deal.
Bye-bye. All right, we're going to take a minute to listen to our jingle one more time. Because if it's not in your head now, it will be, but also to let you know where you can go tune in, where you can find us, and just we're going to keep introducing you to sponsors throughout the day. This is like our mini Stream-a-thon. So thank you, much love to my coach, Michael Faber, Unleash You Now family, and truly family. So absolutely love him.